Hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel Sharam Bhimda. Students, today we will discuss chapter number 7 of your NCERT EVS textbook of class 5. The name of the chapter is Experiments with Water. We will discuss this chapter in this video. I am Sharam, your EVS teacher. So before starting the lesson, let's have a look on the learning objectives of this lesson. These are the learning objectives of this lesson. Let's have a look on them. Number 1, to learn about the things that float and sink in liquids. Number 2, to know why certain things floats or sink in the water or in the liquid. Number 3, to understand the properties of water. We will also discuss all the properties of water. Number 4, water cycle. Number 5, solution, solute and solvent. We will also discuss these three terms in this video. Number 6 is to identify the soluble and insoluble solids. And the last one is to know about Dandi March. Let's start our lesson. Things which will sink or float. So definitions are given here. First one is things which are heavier than the water or liquid displaced by it will sink in the water. It means those things which are heavier than the water or the liquid, they will sink in the liquid or in the water. Second one is things which are lighter than the water. Things which are lighter than the water or liquid displaced by it will float on the water or on the liquid. It means those things which are lighter than the water will float and those things which are heavier than the water will sink in it. Okay, I hope both the definitions are clear to you. Now move on. Some examples are given here. We have to identify the things which will float or which will sink in the water. So let's discuss. First one is empty bowl. It is lighter than the water, that's why it will float. You can do the experiments with the bowl and the water. Okay. Number 2, sand. It will sink. It will sink because it is heavier than the water and it will settle down at the bottom of the water. Number 3, marbles. These are also heavier than the water, that's why they will also sink. Number 4, aluminum foil. It is lighter than the water, so it will float. Soap cage. It is also lighter than the water, that's why it will also float. A boat. It is also lighter than the water removed by it, not by the sea whole water. We have to keep in our mind that the water displaced by it should be heavier than it, then it will float. Last one is a needle. It will also sink because it is heavier than the water. So with these things you can also do your own experiment and note down your results. I hope you will do the experiments. Now let's see next. A Dead Sea. The Dead Sea. It is given in your EVS textbook. All oceans and seas have salty water. All the oceans and the seas have salty water. The saltiest of all is the Dead Sea. How salty? Imagine 300 grams of salt in 1 liter of water. If we took 1 liter water from the Dead Sea, we will get 300 grams of salt. Okay. Now, would you be able to even taste such salty water? It would be very bitter. Interestingly, even if a person doesn't know how to swim, she would not drown in this sea. She will float in water as if lying down on it. If a person doesn't know how to swim, he or she would not drown in this water because it is too salty and heavier than the weight of the person. That's why he will drown. He or she would not drown in this water. He or she will float in water as if lying down on it. So we can see how salty is it. Remember the lemon you floated in salty water. Earlier you have did an experiment with a lemon and a glass of water. By adding the salt in the water, you will be able to float the lemons in the glass. Now let's see next. Properties of water. These are the properties of water. First one is water is a liquid. Water is a liquid. Number 2, water is a tasteless, odorless liquid. Water is a tasteless, it has no taste. Odorless, it has no smell. Number 3, water is transparent. It means we can see through the water. So we can say water is transparent. Here you can see a glass full of water and a piece of lemon dropped into it, and we can see the lemon piece inside the glass through the water. It means water is transparent. And one thing I want to tell you, that the freezing point of the water is 0 degree Celsius. Freezing point of the water is 0 degree Celsius and the boiling point of the water is 100 degree Celsius. So you have to keep in your mind that the freezing point of the water is 0 degree Celsius and the boiling point of the water is 100 degree Celsius, and the chemical formula for water is H2O. H2O. It means it is the mixture of hydrogen and oxygen. So these are the properties of water. Now move on. Forms of water. Forms of water. Water can take many forms, or we can say all the forms. First one is solid state. These are the 3 states of a matter. So water can take all these 3 forms: solid state, solid form, which is ice. And what is the freezing point of the water is, which is 0 degree Celsius. At 0 degree Celsius, water turns into ice. It takes the form of ice. Number 2, liquid state. Water itself, normal water, is in liquid state. Or number 3, gaseous state. Gaseous state, vapor, water vapor or steam. So water can take all these 3 forms: solid, liquid and gaseous. In solid form it is ice, in liquid state it is normal water, and in gaseous state that are water vapors or steam. So once again I want to tell you, the freezing point of the water is 0 degree Celsius and the boiling point of the water is 100 degree Celsius. Let's move on. It is water cycle. In water cycle, first the water collected in the seas from the rivers, or we can say the rainwater, and water from everywhere comes into the sea. Then the sunlight heats this water, and after heating it turns into vapors. It means this process is called evaporation. First the collection of water, after that evaporation of water means it turns into vapors, and after that condensation of these vapors. So we can say all the vapors takes the forms of clouds, and after that precipitation, it means water comes down on the earth again in the form of rain. That is water cycle. We can see another picture of water cycle. Same process is given here. First water collection, after that evaporation means heating of water, and transpiration from the plants, condensation, and after that precipitation means water comes down on the earth in the form of rain, and again the process begin. Water collected, evaporation, condensation, and precipitation. Here you can see the water cycle pictures. Let's move on. Water can dissolve many different substances, giving it different tastes and odors. So let's see. Some things are easily soluble in water. Soluble means they can easily mixed with the water, and we cannot identify the things again because it is completely mixed in the water. So the examples are given here: salt and the sugar. Both the salt and the sugar are easily soluble in water. Next, what is a solution? A liquid that contains a dissolved substance is called a solution. It means a mixture of two things is called a solution. So here you can see salt plus water. If we add salt and water, we got a solution which is known as salt solution. If we take here sugar, then it will be called as sugar solution. So what is a solution? A solution is a liquid that contains a dissolved substance. Okay, a liquid that contains a dissolved substance is called a solution, or we can say a mixture of two things in which one thing is liquid and one thing is solid. So here you can see the salt solution. Next, now we will discuss both the things, what was salt and what was water in the reaction. So in this picture you can see here number 1 solute plus solvent is equal to solution. It means solute and solvent mixed together to make a solution. So one thing will be called as solute and the another will be called as solvent, and the mixture will be called solution. You can see another picture here. This is our solvent in which we are going to drop the solid things, solid substances, and these substances are called solute. If we mix both the substances, we will get a solution, which is this. It means if we add the solute and solvent, we will get a solution. Solute may be any solid substance or solvent may be any liquid. So in chemical form we can say solute plus solvent is equal to solution. Now these are the definitions of these three terms: solute, solvent and solution. Let's see the definition of solute. The substance which dissolves in a liquid is called as a solute. The substance which dissolves in a liquid is called as a solute. It means which substance we are going to drop in the liquid will be called as solute. Solvent. The liquid in which the solute or the substance dissolves is called a solvent, or in other words we can say the liquid in which we drop the solute is called a solvent. Last one is solution. The mixture of solute and solvent is called a solution. The mixture of solute and the solvent is called a solution, or we can say the mixture of two things in which one thing is liquid and one thing is solid is called a solution. We can take the example of salt plus water, in which salt is a solute and liquid water is a solvent, and the solution is salt solution. Insoluble things in water: those things which will not mix with the water. First one, let's see. Some things are not soluble in water. They are called insoluble things. It means which will not completely dissolve in the water are called the insoluble things. For example, sand, rock and oil. These substances will not mix with the water, will not completely mixed with the water, or will not dissolve in the water. That's why they are called insoluble things. Examples: sand, rock and oil. These are insoluble things. Next one is soluble or insoluble. We have to identify the things which are soluble and which are insoluble from these given substances. First one is wax. It is insoluble because it will not dissolve in the water. Next, sugar. It is soluble. Salt also soluble. Sand insoluble. Jelly insoluble. So you can do the experiments by taking some substances which are available at your home with the permission of your parents. Don't do any experiments without your parents' permission. Next, solubility rate of different substances. How quickly a substance dissolves in water and how much time it will take to dissolve in water. Let's see. Some solids dissolves in water more quickly than other solids. So how can we increase this solubility rate? We had two methods to increase the solubility. First method is solubility increases by heating. Here the picture hide the letter G. So solubility increases by heating. It is heating. Okay. Solubility increases by heating. Number two, if we want to dissolve any substance in the water, we can boil the boil the solvent, or boil the water, boil the liquid. Or number two, solubility increases if more solvent is added. If we add the more solvent, it means if we add the more liquid in the solution, then we can quickly dissolve the given substance. Okay. Now, how to make salt or dandi march? What it was? This incident took place in 1930, 12th March, 1930. This incident took place in 1930, before India became independent. It means it is the incident before 1947. India got freedom 15th August 1947. So for many years the British had made a law that did not allow people to make salt themselves. They had also put a heavy tax on salt. So what it was, the British government make a law that nobody can make salt from the seawater, and they also put a heavy tax on the salt. By this law, people could not by this law, people could not make salt even for use at home. How can anybody live without salt? Because it is essential commodity for daily life. We usually use the salt in the vegetables, cooking the vegetables, so it is necessary for everyone. So Gandhiji said, how can a law not allow us to use freely what nature has given? So Gandhiji was against this law. Gandhiji said, how can a law not allow us to use freely what nature has given? Gandhiji, with several other people, went on a yatra, long walk, from Ahmedabad to Dandi seashore in Gujarat. So Gandhiji started a movement on 12th March 1930 from the Sabarmati Ashram in Ahmedabad. He started his movement from the Sabarmati Ashram, which is in Ahmedabad in Gujarat. So with his 78, with his trusted 79 followers, Gandhiji started this march with his 79 trusted followers, and it was a long walk journey. It was a long walk from Ahmedabad to Dandi. Both the places are in Gujarat. So on 6th April 1930, Gandhiji make the salt from the seawater and break the and broke the law which was implemented by the British government. So Gandhiji with several other people went on a yatra long walk from Ahmedabad to Dandi seashore in Gujarat to protest against this law. Do you know how salt is made? The seawater is collected in shallow beds. We can say they made two shallow beds like this, and the seawater was collected in between these shallow beds. The seawater was collected in shallow beds dug in the sand. Water is allowed to dry in the sun. Water is allowed to dry in the sun. After the water dries, the salt remains on the ground. Water turns into the vapor, and the remaining material was the salt. So it was Dandi March led by Mahatma Gandhi in 1930. So it was our lesson. Thank you for watching this video.